You really open the book up in that first chapter or two with these myths. I mean, that's such a unique approach. Where did you come across those? Why are companies still lingering on these myths? Culture has been a thing that we've been talking about for 20 years now. Why are people still clinging to these myths like HR is?
Well, and that's the primary one that I talk about a lot, Jason, is that so many organizations we work with and so many people I talk to, they hire someone in HR and say, yeah, they're gonna take care of managing our culture or creating our culture.
It's your problem.
It's your problem. Go ahead and fix it. And that's why I say it's a myth. Culture evolution, culture change is not just one department's responsibility. It takes the entire organization, representation of the entire organization.
So I mean, that myth in particular is being perpetuated because people are still hiring HR people to solve this for them.
Correct.
Yeah,
very much so.
I mean, are those people that you work with often? They're like, hey, I got hired to solve this problem. It's not a one-person problem. I need some help.
Absolutely, a lot of my work is with people that is a part of their primary responsibility, to work with them and their group, and then to spread and create the solutions and create the culture plan and create the activities internally that then they will lead and facilitate. Right? Utilizing some of the tools and resources that Ideal Outcomes actually produce to put in their hands to use.
So these culture officers or whatever their title is, and culture committees are doing a lot of that heavy lifting.
Absolutely, they have to.
They have to. Yeah. Is that one of the biggest pitfalls that companies fall into, that culture is just about paying people more and recognition?
Sure, I mean, that's one of the myths that we're talking about, is that recognition, compensation, perks is our culture. And it's really not.
Yeah.
I mean, our recognition programs, how we award people, how we compensate people, that is part of the organizational climate, the level of employee satisfaction, even impacts engagement, right? But perks and recognition and compensation are not going to become the drivers of your culture.
Yeah, and so many studies have shown there's so short-term returns on higher compensation.
Exactly.
What are those long-term returns that you found for, instead of focusing on compensation and focusing on those long-term culture solutions?
In today's world, really some of the things that are driving organizational culture is things like empowerment, flexibility, right? Remote workforces. I mean, things that some companies absolutely can do, some can't. I understand that, but really understanding to take more time and more value and really understanding the employees and what's important to them. That's a big part of driving the type of culture you want.
A whole section of the book, you come back to it many times, about authenticity.
Yep.
How does that tie into your ideas about culture, and why is it important for companies to be authentic?
In our research, the research we did in preparation of writing this book, we interviewed hundreds of executives from all over the world, all different industries, all different types of companies. And authenticity was the one word that just was talked about over and over and over throughout my interview. It was a through line of all my research. And I really believe in regardless of what your culture is, if you want a dynamic, successful culture, it has to be authentic. And how I describe authentic, if it's customers, if it's employees, if it's managers, if it's executives, if it's vendors or partners, people are looking for what we call the real deal. And that's really what my definition or the perception of authenticity is. All through the organization is people getting the real deal.
How do you consult to that? How do you teach to that? How do you get companies over that? If they have a great purpose statement, they have great employees, they have a great product, but they just are missing that authentic culture. What are some of those gaps?
Usually we focus on communication.
Oh, there's a missing piece. All the pieces are there, but people don't know about it.
That's right, or they don't understand it, or it's not defined, right? Or there's no behaviors associated with it, right? So a lot of times the gap will come in how things are communicated within an organization. We spend a lot of time working with companies on what to communicate and how to.
So it's on paper, but they're not living it.
That's right.
It's on paper, and they're living it, but nobody knows about it.
Yeah. So one of the differentiators, something that we talk about a lot, is Ideal Outcomes, and what we do is a people solution, right? Versus a technology solution. Do we use technology? Yes, of course, every day. We use technology to get data, to analyze data, all those types of things. But ultimately, people drives culture, right? So our solutions and our work with organizations involve people.